I wake up with a yawn and a stretch. Then I get ready for the day and eat a hearty breakfast. I hope Yuuna didn't forget our plans for the day. I'll give her a quick call to make sure she's ready for me to pick her up. The phone rings a couple of times before she answers.
Hi, ready for our nature excursion?
Absolutely. I grin. And here, I was worried you'd forgotten.
No way. I meant it when I said I wanted to get away this weekend. I've even got my friend watching Mochi for the night.
Okay.
Studying for exams next week is really stressing me out. I think spending a day outside, enjoying the fresh air, seeing the wildlife is exactly what I need to rejuvenate the soul.
My thoughts exactly. That was the entire reason for me wanting to go on this trip. Awesome, because I already got permission from Uncle Kaito to borrow his car.
And I found a tent in our attic, so we have no excuse not to go.
Well, this camping trip just became intense. Don't laugh, the joke was bad. Don't encourage me. If you laughed, you're only encouraging the bad behavior. In that case, I'll come by and pick you up now.
Okay, I'll be ready.
Sounds easy. I've already prepared everything I want to bring, so once we hang up, I load it into the car. Then I drive to Yuna's house. She's waiting for me with a rolled-up tent in one hand and a large bag in the other.
I brought some water and food, which should be easy to cook over a fire.
At least one of us came prepared for something like that. Perfect. I brought some snacks, too. I mean, I'm kind of prepared, but only for the light munching, not the whole let's eat an actual meal thing. I help her load everything into the car and we get driving. Yuuna acts as my navigator and tells me where to go. There's an area between the mountain ranges and lake which is a popular camping and hiking destination. Although this island isn't that big, it's still a couple hours drive before we arrive. There aren't very many people around, which is fortunate for us. We select a more secluded area to set up camp. I grab the tent out of the car. Although it's been a few years since I've gone camping, I still remember the basics of how to put up a tent. Yuuna's tent is actually a lot larger than the ones I've used and way more stable. This is a nice tent.
Thanks. My mom picked it out when I was in high school. She said Yuuna and I had outgrown our old tent.
I mean, it might have just been worn away and possibly leaking. I glance at her in surprise when she mentions her brother's name, but Yuuna's face no longer holds a shadow of sadness. Instead, she looks on fondly. Hey, that's great to see that in the time in our relationship, she's been able to kind of move forward just a little bit and begin that healing process after everything with Yuuna.
Yuuna used to compete with Dad to see who could put up the tent the fastest. Usually Dad won.
I think Dad might have had a little more experience than Yuuna. They always do. After getting the tent set up, we pull out the sleeping bags and blankets and set them up inside the tent. Should we unpack everything else, or should we go do something?
I vote we unpack later and do something first.
I grin. Me too.
I had a few ideas planned. The nice thing about this location is that we've got a lot of options available. I was thinking we could go hiking, go swimming, or go on a scavenger hunt.
Or all of the above. Let's go hiking. I'm basically a fish in the water. Scavenging is in my nature. I kind of want to do all of the options, because the fish in the water thing, we get to see Yuuna in a swimsuit again, and we all know how that works. So I think we might check out all three options here, but you know what? Let's start with the scavenger hunt. A scavenger hunt sounds cool, but how would that work?
I found a list online. It's kind of interactive, so once we find the item, we have to take a picture and upload it before it will move on to the next item.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think?
Sounds fun. My only regret is that I didn't bring my explorer hat. Yuuna grins, then rummages in one of her bags and pulls out a hat. She puts it on her head.
Luckily, I did.
Whoa, you came prepared. Steal her hat. Guess I'm hatless. Well, she came prepared and she's wearing it, so I bet she looks super cute in it. But I just want to do it just to see what the reaction would be. When Yuuna isn't paying attention, I swipe the hat off her head and put it on myself. It fits really snugly.
Hey!
This is what I do now. My hat now! Yuuna looks at me, then giggles.
Looks a little small.
That's why it's my hat now. It's perfect.
Are you sure you wouldn't rather have this one?
She has two? Yuuna pulls out a larger but otherwise identical hat from behind her back and offers it to me. This woman is very prepared for anything. When you and the writers are on the same point, wow, you really did prepare for anything. Yuuna laughs as we swap hats. We double check the app.
Okay, so the first object we have to find is sunlight through the trees.
Okay. That's oddly specific, but not hard. I point to any one of the myriad of trees surrounding us. Yuuna shrugs and arbitrarily picks a tree to take a picture.
Done. The next thing we have to find is a fish.
Also, not hard.
Come on, let's go to the lake.
I follow Yuuna down to the lake and we snap a photo of the fish swimming beneath the clear waters.
Next one is to find a lizard.
Okay, that's a little harder. They like water, right? Good thing we're already by the lake. We scour the bank but are unsuccessful. Just as we're about to give up, Yuuna jumps excitedly.
Oh, I found one! Look!
I rush over and spot a little brown gecko. It blended in so well with the ground that I would have missed it if Yuuna hadn't said something. Nice! What's next?
Find an intact spider web.
I don't want to do that one. That'll probably be easy to spot on the trees. We continue to run down the list, enjoying the challenge. The further down the list we go, the harder the requests. The items range from really specific, such as an ant moving something, to really general, like a butterfly, to kind of weird, like a dead tree.
Next, we have to find a four-leaf clover.
I can't say I've ever found one. Those don't exist. MC, you're an idiot. Yuuna blinks.
Sure they do.
No, clovers are 3 leaves.
Yeah, the four-leafed ones are really rare, but they do exist.
I've never seen one before.
Well, now you will.
Still skeptical, we get to searching. And searching. Are you sure about this? I can't find one anywhere. Yuuna frowns.
They do exist. They're just super hard to find.
Okay, well, can we skip this one and move on to the next? My neck is starting to cramp from staring at the ground for so long. I'd rather be staring at you. Yuuna tries to skip, but frowns.
It won't let us skip without uploading a pic.
Upload a pic from something random, take a pic of a 4-leaf clover, or keep looking. She doesn't really want to skip, so let's keep looking. Let's keep trying. Yuuna nods. Our search continues. After some time, it looks like we won't be finding a 4-leaf clover anytime soon.
Maybe we should take a break for now.
Yuuna smiles, but I can tell she's disappointed. She probably wanted this game to go smoothly, and my complaining certainly didn't help, which is why I said let's just keep searching. Hey, I have one last thing for us to find. Yuuna glances up at me. One amazing girlfriend. Smooth. She blushes as I pull her close and kiss her. Time to take a picture, right? She nods and takes out her camera so we can pose in a picture together.
Okay, now I'm really ready for a break though. Is there something else you want to do, or should we go back to camp?
Let's go hiking, let's go swimming, let's go back to camp. Okay. Well, I guess we might have these options as well, so I would think we'd want to go hiking next so then we can swim to cool down. So, I mean, we're still out and about. Let's keep going hiking. Why don't we take that hike now?
Okay.
Yuuna leads the way again. At first, the trail leading up the mountain is easy, but soon it starts to get rockier, and we have to be careful about where we step. My footing is unsteady, and I lag slightly behind Yuuna as I watch very closely where I step. Can't get hurt.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. She smiles, but slows her pace to match mine anyway. As we continue to climb, I enjoy the peacefulness of our surroundings. The trees shield us from the hot rays of the sun, and the only sounds are the scurrying of animals and our breathing. I barely register the squirrels jumping to and from the trees, but a weird animal that looks kind of like a dog and a raccoon darts behind a tree off the path. Hey! Did you see that? Yuuna stops. That raccoon dog thing.
What?
Let's go chase it! I start to drift off the trail when Yuuna stops me.
Hey, wait! That's not a good idea. We could get really lost.
She's not wrong. She really isn't wrong. But the raccoon dog is more important. Good point. You wait here. That's going to only make her worry even further. Why would I want to leave her out in the middle of the woods by herself? I mean, I think we just chase the raccoon dog. We have to go after it. Before Yuuna can protest, I slip off the trail and go into the trees, like a dumb. Yuuna stays rooted to the spot and doesn't come after me. Probably for the best. I spot the furry fellow gnawing on something and I approach it cautiously. A twig snaps beneath my feet, alerting the creature. It sits up and stares straight at me, then runs away. I immediately give chase. We speed through the trees, my focus entirely on keeping the creature in my sight. Suddenly, I crash into someone. Ow.
Hey!
Yeah, it would be Yuuna. I blink. Yuuna? Scrambling to my feet, I help her back onto hers. What are you doing here?
I've been waiting for you to come back. I was so scared you'd get lost.
I mean, I am kind of dumb, so that's a good concern. Yuna's eyes glitter and her voice wavers. I didn't realize I worried her so much. Yeah, you selfish prick. I brush the stray leaves out of her hair and gently caress her cheek. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I pull her close to me and she buries her face in my chest.
It's okay, as long as you're safe.
Slowly, we pull apart and I lean in to kiss her.
By the way, that animal you saw is a tanuki.
A tanuki?
They're all over Japan. I'm surprised you haven't seen one before now.
Are those the spirit animal with the huge balls?
We should be heading back now.
Good point. Yuna's cheeks are bright red, and she quickly heads back down the trail. Hey! Wait for me! As Yuuna slows her pace, she looks back at me.
Do you want to just hang out at camp, or do something else?
Let's do our swimming. Swimming sounds perfect right about now.
Great! Since we're headed back to camp anyway, we can go get changed first.
I nod as Yuuna leads the way. Once we're done changing, I follow Yuuna again. It takes a few minutes as Yuuna guides us. Finally, we come to the end of the path. Where's the lake? Bikini is back. Yuuna points downward. I stand beside her at the edge and glance down to see pristine waters.
That's the fastest way to the lake. Otherwise, we'll have to take the long way to go down.
Are you encouraging me to jump? Are you sure this is safe?
Of course. There are no hidden rocks below, if that's what you're worried about. We're not that far up either.
Define not that far up. 15 feet is not that far up. 50 feet is kind of far up, Yuuna. We need to understand, or whatever that is in meters, because we're in Japan. Yuuna wears a sly grin. You're gonna push me, aren't you?
If you're afraid, we can just walk down.
I feel personally attacked here. Cannonball, Yuuna should go first. Let's take the long way. That face right there is challenging me. I'm gonna just go for it. Afraid? I live for the adrenaline. I am a gear pilot after all. Instead of responding, I step away from the ledge. Yuuna watches with a mixture of amusement and surprise as I take a running start and leap off the edge. I tuck my arms and legs into a ball as I slice through the air. With barely enough time to suck in a deep breath, I crash into the water. I pump my legs and break through the surface of the water to suck in more air. Squinting at the sun, I spot Yuuna peering down at me and flash her a thumbs up. Come on in! The water's great, he says as he's probably floating backwards on there right now and just kind of like, come on, you started this. She disappears, and for a minute, I wonder if she's going to walk when I see a flash of pink gracefully arcs. Oh, wait, hold. I gotta reread that here. She disappears, and for a minute, I wonder if she's going to walk when I see a flash of pink gracefully arc off the edge into a beautiful swan dive. She barely makes a splash as she enters the water. Sally gives that a 10. After a few seconds, she breaks the surface and grins at me. I give that a 10 out of 10.
Oh wow, a perfect score.
I mean, a perfect score for a perfect lady. I'm like on the same wavelength as Pixel Fade right now for a perfect girl. I swim over and kiss her, my heart still pounding from the adrenaline. We continue to laugh and splash in the water when a colorful fish catches my eye. Hey, did you see that?
See what?
The rainbow fish. Yuuna gives me a weird look.
There's no such thing as a rainbow fish.
Rainbow trout woman. I swear I just saw it. We both squint at the water. I spot a lot of trout and other plain-looking fish when a glint of bright white and orange swims past. There! Yuuna looks surprised.
Hey, that's a carp. What's it doing here?
Is it a magic carp? Don't laugh. If you laughed, it's encouraging the bad behavior. I don't know. Let's catch it.
With what?
As the fish swims past again, I snatch at it with my bare hands, but only grab a handful of water. Ah. Yuuna laughs.
That's why fishing rods were invented.
Bears can do it. That's the logic right there, because bears can do it, a human can do it too. Great logic there. The carp swims by again, and I lunge for it, but again come back empty-handed. Stop swimming, you sly fishy! Suddenly, Yuuna darts forward.
Oh, I touched it!
Really?
Yeah!
She grins proudly and her eyes sparkle.
I'm going to catch that fish.
No matter how often we called and waited for the carp to return, it didn't appear again. I guess it learned its lesson and was staying far, far away from the grabby hands. Once our fingers and toes started to prune, we decided to get out of the water and dry off.
Is there something else you want to do, or do you want to head back to camp?
I mean, let's go back to camp. We did everything. Pooped. Let's take a rest back at camp. Yuuna nods. We change back into our clothes. Lead on.
Sounds good.
Yuuna leads the way back to camp. The sun slowly dips in the sky. I glance again at Yuuna and smile. The day just flies by when I'm with her. Once we spot our tent, Yuuna turns to me.
What now?
Now it's time for the best part. The campfire.
I'll go collect some wood.
We didn't do that already? I nod, and the two of us get to working... I nod, and the two of us get to work building the fire. I packed a lighter with me so we wouldn't have to fiddle with stones like cavemen. Soon, a bright fire chases away the shadows as the sun sets. Yuna's face glows from the flames as the sun shines a halo behind her. I grab a couple of skewers and pass one to her. I know traditionally people use sticks, but that always seemed kind of gross and unhygienic to me. Yuuna looks at me, confused.
What's this for?
S'mores, of course.
S'mores?
Don't tell me you've never had s'mores before. I grab the graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallows. It is heaven in your mouth. First, you put your marshmallow on your skewer to toast it over the fire. I hold my skewer above the flames to demonstrate. Yuuna hesitantly copies me. Then you take the graham crackers, chocolate, and marshmallow and combine it into one warm, melty sandwich. Yuuna hides a giggle as she looks at my skewer. What?
Is the marshmallow supposed to be charcoal?
It's how I like it, woman. I lift my skewer out of the fire and see that one side of my marshmallow is completely blackened. Dang! Why does that happen every time? Lack of focus. Yuuna removes her skewer and bursts out laughing. Her marshmallow did not fare much better than mine. Let's try that again. We place fresh marshmallows on the skewers and successfully toast them. After completing our s'mores, Yuuna takes a big bite and her face lights up.
This is delicious.
I know!
This is something you do in America a lot?
It's a must for every campsite.
I wish I'd had one sooner. Let's make another.
Okay. I grin as I pass Yuuna the items and watch as she eagerly puts the pieces together. I guess she really does love American stuff. I think I see her shiver and notice the cool breeze as the sun disappears below the horizon. The campfire burns even brighter as darkness settles in. Are those clouds in the sky? Scooting closer, I wrap my arms around her as she focuses on her marshmallow. She blinks at my touch, then our gazes lock. She meets me in a kiss, her forgotten marshmallow burning on the skewer. Suddenly, a droplet hits my head. I break away in surprise and glance at the sky. Did you just feel a raindrop?
No.
She gasps as a droplet falls on her nose. You want to re-answer that question?
I mean, yes.
Very good.
It wasn't supposed to rain today.
As if those were the magic words which unlock the sky, the rain pours down in a thick sheet of water. Yuna's hair sticks to her face and neck as we are drenched within minutes. Quickly, to the tent! I grab Yuna's hand and we race into the dry safety of the tent, zipping it up behind us. I can hear Yuna's teeth chattering in the darkness. We've got to get out of these clothes. Well, someone's a little upfront.
What?
My cheeks burn, realizing what it was I actually just said. We'll catch a cold if we stay in these wet clothes. She hesitates.
You're right, but we left the spare clothes in the car.
Why are we this dumb? Suddenly, she pulls her top off. That escalated quickly. Wait!
Just turn around, okay?
I mean, because I'm a gentleman, I will, but I don't want to. But I will. I do as she obliges and strip down to my boxers. Ain't she cute? I glance over my shoulder and see Yuuna strip down to her underclothes. She looks back at me over her shoulder and her cheeks turn pink.
Stop peeking!
Why? You're good to look at. You're very pretty. Sorry. There's a small lantern hanging on top of the tent which provides a tiny bit of light in the darkness. We sit quietly as the rain patters against the tent. I try not to think about Yuuna sitting half naked behind me, but my mind keeps wandering back to it. Think about something else. Maybe I should ask her a question. I mean, she's right there. It's kind of hard to not think about it. Yuuna speaks before I can think of something to ask her.
So, have you ever played that game where you write a word on someone's back and they have to guess what it is?
I have no idea what game you're actually referring to. Yeah? Wait, maybe I do.
Want to play?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yuuna tries to ease the tension and pretend like nothing unusual is happening, but I can hear the anxiety in her voice.
Don't look, okay?
She gently traces her finger along my back. My skin tingles where she touches. Oh, we're playing in English?
Yes.
All the more complicated. She continues to trace letters on my back one after another.
Okay, done. What did I write?
It felt like something that started with an H and ended with a Y. Healthy, happy, or history. I'm a guess the middle one here because, well, yeah, she's healthy. Why would we be talking about history? She's probably happy that we're together here. It felt like happy. Yuuna claps.
Yes, that was it!
I'm so good at this game. Is that how you feel right now?
Yes.
Her voice is soft, and I can imagine the blush on her cheeks. I'm still facing the other way. I feel that way too.
Okay, your turn.
I hear her settle into place, and then I turn to face her back. Her skin is porcelain smooth. As I gently brush her hair out of the way, I wonder what I should write. That middle option. Very tempting. Very tempting. But I think I'm gonna throw the Hail Mary out here. Now seems like the time we drop this word here. We drop this one right now. I trace the word love on her back, acutely aware of the warmth of her skin. Okay. What is it? Her cheeks turn pink, and I think she knows what it is.
Is it love?
You got it. Her blush deepens. We play a few more rounds, then chat for a few hours. Time goes by in a flash as we enjoy each other's company, and it looks like the rain has stopped. I peek outside. Sure enough, the only rain is from the dripping leaves. I'll go to the car and get our clothes. You stay here. Yuuna nods. Once I come back with the rest of our supplies, we quickly get changed and tuck ourselves into our sleeping bags after turning off the lantern. It's pitch black outside. Only the subtle noise of shuffling creates a sense of space.
I'm a little cold.
Cuddle time. Her voice is muffled from the sleeping bag. Maybe I can fix that? I scoot my bag even closer to hers and sling my arm around her. She smiles as she leans against me.
This is nice. Earlier, when we were playing that game, how did you choose which word to write?
I just wrote what I feel. She gasps slightly and looks up at me, then looks away as a blush stains her cheeks.
I think that's what I feel too.
What is it that you feel? I want you to say it. When she makes eye contact again, I hug her even closer to me as my lips meet her own. I take a sharp breath and breathe in her familiar scent. Her arms slip out of the sleeping bag and wrap around my neck. My lips linger as she gently pulls away and cuddles into me. We stay this way and enjoy the fullness of each other's company. I listen to the soft sound of her breathing and the stillness of the night before drifting to sleep. Well, dang. When awake, Yuuna is still cuddled up against me. I smile at her sleeping form. She looks so peaceful, and the sunlight filtering through the cracks of the tent frame her like an angel. I brush a stray hair away from her face, and she blinks open her eyes. She smiles as her gaze fixes on me.
Good morning.
Morning. She stretches lazily and yawns.
Did you sleep well?
Very well, actually. How about you?
Very well, too.
We stay where we are for a while longer before Yuuna reluctantly sighs.
I think it's time for us to pack up.
I don't wanna. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, poop. I sigh, then nod. We crawl out of our sleeping bags and get to work cleaning up the camp. After heating up some of the food Yuuna brought, we pack everything up into the car and drive back. I drop her off in front of her house and help carry her things to her door.
Thanks so much for taking me on this trip. I had a great time.
Me too.
I'll see you Monday.
Yep. Our lips meet for one last kiss. Yuuna smiles and heads into her house while I get back into my car and drive home. Man, what a trip. It's late by the time I reach home. As soon as I do, I head straight for my room and collapse onto the bed. I couldn't have asked for a better day yesterday, but there's something comforting about coming back to my own bed. As I stand there, I suddenly feel so tired and so lost. Without thinking, I pull out my phone and dial the first name that comes to mind.
Hey, I didn't expect to hear from you so soon.
Yuuna, can we meet? Worry enters her voice.
Yes, of course. What's wrong?
I just found out something huge and need to talk.
Okay, should I come over?
No, I'm not at home. I can come to you if that's okay.
Sure.
Thanks. I'll be there soon. We hang up, and as in a daze, I make it to Yuuna's house. I hear barking on the other side of her door, and Yuuna ushers me in before Mochi can escape. We settle on the couch. She frowns.
Are you okay?
Mochi leaps onto the couch and places a paw on my leg. I absent-mindedly pat his head. I think so. Looking around the familiar living room, I once again note the immaculate cleanliness of the place. Are your parents back? She shakes her head.
They're coming back tomorrow.
Right at the start of exams, huh?
As if I won't be stressed enough.
I thought you didn't like being in this big house alone.
Not casually, but now that I have Mochi...
I feel a strong tug in my lap as Mochi bites my jacket.
Mochi! No!
You little scamp. Yuuna scoops up the wriggling puppy and puts him on the floor. He whines, then scampers under the couch when Yuuna continues to chastise him. When he disappears, Yuuna appears at my clenched hand.
What's that?
I hadn't realized I brought this in with me. I open my hand to reveal the drive. Yuuna cocks her head to the side and gives me a questioning look. It's the data to my core.
Did something happen to your core?
Not exactly.
Then why is the data in a drive?
I downloaded it. She pauses and fixes her big blue eyes on me. I fill her in on everything I'd learned. She listens attentively to my jumbled mess of a story and only speaks once I've finished.
I see.
Suddenly, her arms wrap around me. What? She squeezes me even tighter and lays her head on my chest. Her touch dissolves the dam holding back my emotions, and all the pain and fear and confusion threatens to burst. Hold her back or pull away. We hold back. As my thoughts and emotions swirl without abandon, I cling on to the only thread of stability and hold Yuuna just as tightly. We stay this way until I've had a chance to calm down and regain control of my emotions. Then Yuuna gently pulls away. Sorry. I guess I'm not that fun to be around right now.
You have a lot on your mind.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, you two are a lot alike.
I blink. What?
You and your father. From what you've described, he's confident and headstrong, but has an immense heart. He was always looking out for those he cared about. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
She smiles.
I know this must be confusing for you. It sounds like your dad kept a lot of secrets, and you keep wondering what if. Wondering how you couldn't see this coming sooner.
It's like she can see directly into my brain. Don't stare too long, you're not gonna like what you find. She looks into my eyes.
You can't go down that rabbit hole. It will consume you.
Is she talking from experience?
You couldn't see it because your dad didn't want you to see it. He was trying to protect you. The same way you haven't told Nikki because you're trying to protect her.
How did you know that? Yuuna's look softens.
Because I know you. Because I'd do the same thing.
She looks away.
Because Yudai did the same thing.
So yes, she is talking from experience. Of course Yuuna understands what I'm going through. Yuuna. She smiles and shakes her head slightly.
I drove myself crazy trying to imagine all the way things could have been different. But in the end, it just made the grieving process that much harder. I wasn't able to move on until I learned to let go and accept what happened.
She leans against me and I let my head rest on top of hers.
We have to keep moving forward, but we don't have to forget our past. Your dad loved you, and that's why he entrusted your course technology to you.
I pause. Do you think I made the right choice? She pushes herself up and looks me in the eyes.
I know you did.
I let out the breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Yuuna's confidence in me is unwavering, and her strength helps me find peace. There's no use living in the past. What's done is done, and the only thing left to do is make sure I honor my father's final wishes. She snuggles back into me, and I hold her close. The silence isn't stifling or uncomfortable, but a warm blanket of understanding and companionship. Thank you. We lean in and our lips lock. We linger into the kiss and she melts into my embrace. As we slowly pull away, I gaze deeply into her eyes. In this moment, I have clarity. It rinses away all my stress and fears. It's okay that I don't have all the answers now, because I'm looking at my future. And it is beautiful. And that, heroes, concludes the Yuuna route of Ace Academy. We have finally reached the end. Which waifu is the best waifu for you? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you did enjoy, make sure to let me know in that comment section down below or by hitting that like button. Both really do help me out. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, make sure to unleash your power by hitting that subscribe button down below today as well, and ring that little notification bell for when new videos go live. I guess that means we have some other Pixel Fade projects to kind of work on then as well. I know they have a demo out for their newest IP that's coming out soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. That should be coming soon. But again, let me know down below, which waifu did you enjoy? I'll leave the links to all of the routes in the description down below. And as always, I will see all you heroes in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.